Why can't I sleep at night? That's a question that I get asked all the time. So let's think about 3 reasons that might actually be stopping you sleeping well at night. The first one is called unfinished business of the day. Now, unfinished business of the day occurs when you're very busy during the day and you don't actually get a chance to process your thoughts, concerns, ideas during the day, and then when you go to bed, you put your head on the pillow and boom, you've got a nice little quiet place there that's nice and dark where your brain can start ruminating and thinking about all the things that you've not actually processed during the day. So that's the first thing that can actually obstruct sleep. The second one is actually your relationship with your bed. Now, if you're a person who's having a little bit of difficulty getting to sleep or staying asleep at night and you're starting to toss and turn in bed, worrying about how you're going to cope the next day at work, then what's happening is actually that your brain is starting to release stress hormones, and that's going to initiate the fight or flight response. So what happens then in the future, if this has been going on for a little while, when you try to go to bed at night, your brain is going to say, uh-oh, don't get in that bed. It's a dangerous place, because from the history that it's had in the last few weeks, it's recognizing now that this isn't a good place to be. It's a dangerous place. And you can also demonstrate that when you might recognize that you've been sat on the couch, nice and drowsy and comfortable and nodding off. You go up to bed, you get into bed, and your brain says, uh-oh, no, get out of this bed straight away. This is not a good place to be. Go back to that couch. That isn't a dangerous place at all. So that's actually occurred because your bed has become a dangerous place due to your tossing and turning in bed. The third thing that actually can affect your sleep is called sleep anxiety. Now, sleep anxiety occurs when you start to be worried about whether you're going to be able to go to sleep, whether you're going to be able to stay asleep at night. And what you start to do is you start to set up routines and rituals about getting to sleep. So, for instance, during the day, you might start to think, oh, I might not get to sleep tonight, so what shall I do? Right, I'll start to avoid coffee. I'll do some breathing exercises. I'll do some yoga. I'll have a hot bath before bed. I'll spray my room with lavender. Now, let's be clear, none of these things are bad things to do. However, if you have set up rituals around your bedtime, doing all these things, then that is actually causing some degree of anxiety. And that is going to also obstruct your ability to get some sleep. Now, what can we do about these 3 things? Well, there are some quite simple things that you can do. So firstly, unfinished business of the day. Get a journal, have 2 columns in it, write down anything that's in your head, get it in that book so that it's out of your head on paper, and actually try to solve the issue. So that's a very important part of doing this journal, is that you solve the problem. If there isn't a solution to the problem, then actually write that down, that there isn't a solution to the problem. In that way, your brain is going to recognize that you're dealing with the issue, and it's much less likely to start ruminating on the problems when you actually put your head on the pillow at night. The second thing is your bed being a dangerous place. And the simple thing to do here is that actually if you're tossing and turning at night in bed, then that's a signal to your body to actually get up out of bed and go and do something else. So I know it's really, really difficult to get up in the middle of the night when you're nice and warm and cozy. However, it is the very, very best thing that you can do. So if you find that you're tossing and turning, after about 20 minutes, get up out of bed, go somewhere else, do something relaxing. In that way, you're going to actually break the connection that your brain's got with your bed being a dangerous place. It takes a few nights to do it, but it does work, so be persistent. So the third thing, the sleep anxiety, just reflects on whether you are actually becoming anxious about going to sleep and staying asleep at night, and think about whether you've actually set up any ritualistic practices around going to bed. Have you knocked off caffeine? Are you having hot baths before bed? If you are, then have a think about whether they're actually making any difference. And if they're not things that you used to do in the past when you slept okay, then maybe think about just knocking some of these things off for a while and see if that makes any difference at all. So if you are having a significant problem with sleep, getting to sleep and staying asleep, then make sure that you get the appropriate treatment that you need to solve your sleep problem. And the appropriate treatment that cures sleep problems in over 80% of cases is called cognitive behavioural therapy for insomnia. Now, if you want more information about how you can get help with your sleep, then just click the link below and register for my sleep masterclass. And in that masterclass, you'll find out what's gone wrong with your sleep and how you can get help to sleep well again in under 6 weeks. Don't put off treating a sleep problem. It really isn't worth it. It's so easy to deal with. So just get the help that you need.